All right, it's the best episode of the year, the college football playoff special. Let's do it. All right, James, Season 5, Episode 17. How are you feeling?
Good. This is one of our favorite episodes. We love talking about college football. Every year, we love doing it. It should be a good one. We're going through the season really quickly, so we're finally here in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, man, time flies by more like every year. Anyway,
yeah, it's wild.
We got a guest on today, sitting right over there.
Yeah, we haven't had a guest in a while.
Yeah, it's because people are so busy and people have lives. I don't really understand, but this is my life. And so we're gonna go with all 4 first-round games. We're going to give our key players, our key matchup, our keys to the game, and then a new thing where it's like the team with the better blank or the team that does blank wins the game.
That was kind of hard for me to do.
So, did you follow the wording specifically?
Yeah, I did.
All right, well, it's fine either way. I didn't really, but I changed it.
Okay, well.
I did the team that plays, the team that is better.
Okay.
I changed up the sentence to make it fit, but you know what I meant. So if you want to do that, you can. And then we're going to make our picks. I don't like how we might need to get new names, like key players, key matchup, keys to the game. I always think that's kind of awkward.
I like triple keys.
It's kind of awkward, but if you like it, then we can keep it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go in order of how fun we think the game's going to be.
Well, which one do we think should be
I've already made it.
Okay.
Yeah, it says how exciting I think the game's going to be.
There we go.
And it's pretty standard. No, it's pretty objective at this point. So first game, James Madison versus Oregon. This is at Oregon. Let's start with James Madison. Who's your key player?
My key player is Wayne Knight. I kind of talked about him last week. He's a running back for James Madison. He's averaging over 6.5 yards a carry. And James Madison lives off of big plays, and Wayne Knight has been able to provide that this whole year. So I think in this game, he's a key because they have to get the running game going. They run it over 65% of the time. They run the ball. So it's going to be a big deal for them to establish that running game, and Wayne Knight will be there. He was one of the best players in the Sun Belt this year, and hopefully he steps up for him big time.
Yeah, so we had a rule where you can only take 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Which makes it... Because last year I felt like we picked quarterback
Yeah, no,
every time.
I agree. And that's the thing. That's what I was thinking about. It's like, technically, the number 1 key player for every single team is a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't have good quarterback play, you can't win a college football playoff game. But I like that we're shouting out
it gets kind of dry. All right,
yeah.
Check the computer. Anyway, my key player, I'm going to spend my first quarterback slot on Alonzo Barnett III. Now, look, Oregon's bigger than you. Oregon's got faster than you. Oregon is stronger than you. So, the running game, it's yet to be seen what that's going to look like for James Madison. It probably won't be great. So, Alonzo Barnett's got to play the game of his life. He's got to be making reads perfectly because this Oregon defense is going to be swarming. Their secondary is way better than your receivers are. So, he's got to make perfect throws, perfect reads every time, and if they want to win this game. And so, it starts with Alonzo Barnett in the pass game because if the pass game's not working, they're going to commit to the run all day. And it's going to be a rough day for the James Madison offense.
Yeah, I agree. I thought about using him too. But for Oregon, I'm going to go with one of the most underrated players in college football. I'm not going to use a quarterback slot, which I really, really wanted to, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end for Oregon. If you've watched Kenyon Sadiq this year, you'd understand how incredible of an athlete he is. And I think this game is going to like I said earlier, it's going to be a lot of big plays. And Kenyon Sadiq provides that. He's one of the fastest tight ends in college football. He's insanely athletic. They're going to have to hit throws over the middle. And Dante Moore's going to have to play well, and this is going to be his safety net in this game. So Kenyon Sadiq, I think, has a big one against James Madison.
My key player is not a quarterback this time. My key player is Noah Whittington. He's their number 1 running back. The running game has been kind of lackluster this year, not exactly what you want to see. But in this game, Oregon has to just lean on them. You're better than them in the trenches by so much. Just hand the ball off, lean on them, and make play after play, nice, 6 yards per carry. And then that's how you win this game. You salt the game away, kind of. And then when you need to hit him with a big pass, you can. But the running game is going to be huge because if you allow James Madison to stop the run and then the passing game, you got Dante Moore can make mistakes, bad throws, a lot more moving variables in the passing game where, in the running game, you can just hand it off and punch it through them because you're way better than them. That's how you're going to win this game. That starts with Noah Whittington.
All right.
So I'll start with my key matchup now.
Okay.
My key matchup is a coaching matchup. Bob Chesney versus Dan Lanning. The thing with Bob Chesney is you have nothing to lose in this game. What are they going to do? Fire you? You've already gone. He's already gone. You're 21.5 point favorite or whatever it is. There's nothing to lose. You got to be creative. Trick plays. Just trick their defense in all sorts of ways. disguise crazy coverages so Dante Moore can make mistakes. That's the only way you can win this game. And for Dan Lanning, the key is to keep your team disciplined, especially on defense, which I have no doubt he can do. Great defensive mind. He's going to keep them disciplined. They're going to be looking for trick plays. And also have your team in the right mindset because this is a game where they can come in cocky and James Madison can kind of punch them early. That's really what you have to avoid. So keep your team disciplined, keep them in the right mindset, and they can't lose this game.
Yeah, and this is Bob Chesney's game, his first game in the Big Ten. This will be a little wake-up call after going to UCLA. So I have kind of a similar one, but I have the JMU running game versus Dan Lanning, and I think Dan Lanning's going to have to scheme for this running game because it is one of the best in the nation. Like, statistically, it's been incredible this year. And they feed off of big plays. And I think Dan Lanning, his defensive mind, kind of like you said, he's always been able to scheme for a run game, and he's always been good at it. So I don't really see him slipping up in this situation. But yeah, I think for Dan Lanning, it's a big game for him. Like, this would be his first college football playoff win. Like, this is a big deal at Oregon. Even though it's against James Madison, it'll be a really good game and good for Dan Lanning, a good start to his young career, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe come to LSU and Lang goes in the NFL. I don't know. Anyway, so keys to the game. You can start with James Madison.
Mine for JMU, you kind of said it a minute ago. It's get off to a quick start, right? Like, James Madison, you have to just like look up and you're not really watching, and James Madison's up 10-0, right? Like, that's how JMU gets you. And I think it's creating turnovers. It's the leaning on that run game, leaning on your star players, right? I think James Madison can do it. I don't really see it happening, but I think it's possible. If you get off to a quick start, then the game becomes a little murky, and then that's where you're in it. So I would say that's the key. That's the point for James Madison to look at. You got to get off to a quick start, score a touchdown on the first drive, score a field goal on the first drive, and get some momentum under you.
I thought I would do something like that, but I went with James Madison. Shorten the game, sustain your drives. Whether you get to the 50 and punt it, whether you score a field goal or you score a touchdown, you gotta sustain it because if you go 3 and out every drive and let Oregon just pound you down through, that's gonna be a problem. And also that takes on the other side too. On defense, keep everything in front of you. Do not let Oregon take the top off with big plays over and over and over again, but they're just putting 6 on the board and like 3 plays every play. Gotta keep everything in front of you. Gotta make them march, make them make mistakes, and they're not gonna score every drive if you make them march like that. And they're gonna make some mistakes, but if you let them just take it easy on a big play, it's not gonna happen. So you gotta sustain your drives, keep everything in front of you, make this a shorter game where you can't outscore them forever, but you can outscore them for a shorter amount of possessions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I think the key to the game for Oregon is. And I think it's feed off the crowd, right? Like, this is your first playoff game in Alton Stadium. Alton Stadium is one of the hardest places to play in the nation. And it's going to be rocking, right? Like, use that energy from the crowd, create big plays. Dante Moore, get your feet under you. Like, just get things going in a way where you kind of salt it out at the beginning of the game. Like, JMU can't come back after the first quarter. I think that's how Oregon wins. So it's kind of opposites for JMU and Oregon in their keys to the game.
We had like opposite keys to the game. My keys to the game for Oregon is to start off hot. I think just bury them early. Do not give them any sign of life. Go 14-0, first 5 minutes of the game. Like, bury them early. Start the game with explosive plays. Take the top off, like I was saying. James Madison can't let you do. Just beat them early, bury them, give them no hope, and then the games will be over by then.
Yep.
All right, so I'll introduce this little new thing. I don't know what to call it. Key sentence. I don't know. But the team with the better, I said, sustained offense wins this game. And it's hard to think of something that would like actually teeter the balance of the game.
It's hard.
And this really still doesn't. But I thought about doing the team that is Oregon wins the game, but that's not fun. Anyway, so like if James Madison's able to sustain their offense and score points consistently, and Oregon's not, if Oregon is just constantly going 3 and out and maybe having explosive play every once in a while, but they can't sustain their drives, that's going to be huge. But that's especially for James Madison. You got to sustain your drives, even if you're not scoring on all of them. Like I said, to shorten the game, and that's the only way they win this game. And if Oregon's able to sustain their offense, then it's just going to be over from the start.
So I said, and I kind of just said it a minute ago, but the team with the better big plays wins the game, right? And we talked about it. This would have been 2 weeks ago, I guess. When James Madison faced Troy in the Sun Belt Championship, it got kind of ugly at the start of the game, and then JMU started breaking off their 50-yard runs, and then they had their 30-yard passing touchdowns, and their random little spurts where that's the James Madison you look at. They're scary. They kind of hit you from everywhere. In Oregon, like they're going to get big plays. They're going to have broken plays where their guys are just faster and better athletes. So I think whoever has the more big plays, I think will win this game. It's kind of a hard one because I think Oregon will have more just because it's just different. It's a different scale.
Can't compare, like, the rosters are completely...
It's just totally different. But, hey, shout out to James Madison, like, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are going to put up a fight.
Yeah, I'll take this platform now. I will say I had that same sentence for another game. But,
interesting.
And you can probably guess what game that is. But anyway,
oh, yeah, I guess.
So, I want to take this platform, with all our viewers. And I want to say, like, all these people who last year said, oh, Boise State getting in is so good for the game. Oh, let's include the group of 5. That are now saying... oh, this is so stupid because now there's 2. The rules didn't change. Because you're power 4, you're advocating for over here. So that part of the ACC's part of that, and they sucked. And they didn't earn a spot, whereas the American and the Sun Belt did. So if you're going to sit here and complain about the system, but when you weren't last year, you can't do that. Go talk to the ACC, go talk to the Power 4 and tell them to get better, and they'll get 11 in, which is much more fair than 10, right? But you get 11 spots. You just didn't earn that spot. So, like, it's weird when you are going to bat for the ACC when the ACC didn't earn it.
And I think the point of that is, which I'm not saying it's valid at all, but I think where people are coming from are saying that, like...
it's a valid point.
I think last year, Boise State, like, having Ashton Jeanty on the team and one of the best stories in college football, like Heisman runner-up, like, all those kind of things, I think swayed people's emotions a little bit. Like, Boise is really not that much better than the 2 teams we have in this year. Like, they're very similar. But the problem is, you don't know any players on JMU or Tulane. Right? Like, no one really knows who's on the teams. So, I think that's kind of one thing. It's like people were advocating for Boise because they had such a good year and they had this incredible player. And it's like those same people don't really realize that, like, it's the exact same, right? And maybe they don't have the Heisman runner-up, but they still have incredible players, incredible coaching, good storylines. And it's like, so they're supposed to be in. Like, that's what the rules dictate. So.
Boise State competed last year. So,
yeah, I think the other 2 group of 5 teams could compete with that team too. Like, I think they're
for sure. They
levels.
definitely could compete. And the American Conference is basically a power conference this year.
Yeah.
Did you see how many Power 4 wins they had?
Yeah.
Memphis beat Arkansas. USF beat Florida. Tulane beat the ACC champion Duke. Like, all over the place, they were beating Power 4 teams. So at this point, the American Conference was maybe not
very
as good.
Respectable, though.
The top of the American Conference was better than the top of the ACC this year, and I'll say that.
Woo!
Like if you're looking at the top few teams of the American against obviously Miami's better than all of them, but like the Dukes, Tulane,
Georgia Tech,
Tulane smacked
Virginia?
Duke, Virginia lost to Duke.
Okay.
Georgia Tech, not that good.
That's a bold take.
They're comparable conferences this year. Is all I'm trying to say. So don't go, just because they have Power 4 next to their name doesn't mean they're that good. Anyway, my pick to get back on track here. Oregon 45, James Madison 14.
Cool.
I think from the start it's just going to be a beatdown. Like, Oregon is on another level. Oregon's one of the top 5 teams in the country. Whereas if you look at this other game, it could be a little closer just because of the circumstances of Ole Miss. But Oregon's better than Ole Miss, and Ole Miss doesn't have their coach. We'll talk about that in a minute. But like, Oregon's one of the best teams in the country. They're not going to let James Madison go out there and out-discipline them. They're not going to let James Madison go out there and out-heart them or outplay them. Like, Dan Lenny's going to have his team ready. And they're going to go out there from the start and make big plays and kill them before they even start walking at this point.
Yeah,
45-14.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I went kind of a different route. So I first want to say I think leading up in this game, I watched a little more JMU some highlights and realizing kind of how they run their schemes. And I do think they can pick apart Oregon in certain situations, right? Just because I think that running game is so good and it's so much fun to watch. It's kind of a weird style.
I don't see the running game getting
and I actually think it does. So I think Alonzo Barnett and Wayne Knight, I think they both are really good on the ground in this game. I do have Oregon winning 21-38 though, but I do think James Madison covers. And I think it's a pretty good game in the first half, and Oregon kind of takes it in the second half.
What was your score?
I also 21-38.
Okay.
The spread's 21, and this is 17, I guess.
Yeah.
17. But I think that also Oregon is being undervalued right now for how good they are. So I think Oregon makes a statement in that second half, and they show why they're still a national title contender. So I'll go with Oregon in a big win, and a big win for Dan Lanning and his club.
I will say, James Madison's got talented guys in the backfield, but they're gonna have to get really creative with their running game because they can't run inside zone against this.
Well, yeah,
they can't pound inside zone against this Oregon D line with the guys they got blocking.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're great Sun Belt players. But talk to our intern Billy how it goes in the big time conferences against the Sun Belt.
That's also another good point. Like James Madison has the highest level of players in the Sun Belt, and now you don't have the highest level players in the field. So you're used to being able to rely on those guys being the best players.
You have to,
and that's what Oregon's going to be able to do in this game. Like we're relying on our guys to just be better than yours, and that's kind of the scheme changes that JMU's going to have to make, and they're going to prepare for it. But I don't really see it happening.
I feel like Oregon's just kind of manhandle them in the ground game. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think if they're trying to run outside, I think their Oregon DBs are going to swarm, and I think they're going to show that they're just on another level. Like these guys didn't get recruited to Oregon for a reason. They didn't get recruited to Virginia Tech for a reason. Like, come on. Anyway, number 11 Tulane at number 6 Ole Miss. Any fans? I'll be at this game if you want to, autographs. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'll start with my key players. My key player for Tulane, when he's in another quarterback spot, might be the biggest key player we've seen for any of these 8 teams, and it's Jake Retzloff. Look, this guy's got experience in the big games. He went to BYU last year, starting quarterback. They went 11-2, just missed the playoff, but this guy has the experience in the big games against the big, good teams, and this guy, he just got his knee brace off before the conference championship game, and you saw that in the way he ran the ball in the conference championship game. He has to continue that. The quarterback run, scrambling. Jake Retzloff kind of has to do it on his own. It's going to be very important because he's as good as those Ole Miss players are, and the rest of his team isn't. So it's going to be really interesting to see. He needs to be the X factor in the ground game and in the air. Like I said for Barnett, got to be almost perfect with his arm. And so if Jake Retzloff doesn't play one of the best games he has, I don't see Tulane has a chance.
Yeah, we pretty much had the same explanation. I also have Jake Retzloff. I'm using my first QB spot. Did you know he leads the team in rushing yards, by the way? Didn't know that. I know that Tulane's rushing game has not been what they were expecting at the beginning of the year, and Jake Retzloff's kind of done a little bit more. But yeah, he looked dang good in that championship game. And I think it's a big game for him and for Tulane, and I think that this is for him, this is probably the biggest game in his career, and it's not with BYU, absolutely. Which is interesting. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy to think about how he was playing at BYU and he didn't get any games close to what he's about to get at Tulane.
The last game was the biggest game of his career. Because he didn't play, it was a playing game. Yeah. He didn't play in the conference championship last year.
Yeah.
That was Arizona State, Iowa State. So,
that's true.
This guy is making a name for himself.
You pretty much said exactly what I'm going to say, or I was going to say. So.
Yeah, we just said it with James Madison. They won't be able to just run inside zone into this D-line. Got to be creative. And Jake Retzloff gives you that elusiveness on the outside with the QB run game when they're expecting you to pass it. That's the thing. The scramble game is going to be huge.
And that's how you win games, broken plays, right? How these little teams can beat the bigger teams is broken plays and getting outside the pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what separates these two teams, James Madison and Tulane, I think, is the experience and the high-level quarterback play that you need to compete.
That is true.
Who's your Ole Miss key player?
Mine's Kwan Lacey, man.
Probably
a top 5 running back this year. At the beginning of the year, wait, no, this might have been last. No, this was the beginning of the year. We had Luke on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we drafted teams. I don't remember what the category was for.
It was running back.
Yeah. Or no, yeah, but it was a whole team. It was quarterback, running back. Yeah. And we had to take players from teams. And he took Kwan Lacey from Ole Miss, and he's like, K. Lacey. That sounds like a good guy. Kwan Lacey has turned into a top 5 running back.
Good. Nobody knew who that guy was.
No one knew who he was at the beginning of the year. He's been incredible. And I think Ole Miss in this game, if Trinidad Shambles does not look great at the beginning, you can then lean on Kwan Lacey. I think that's a really big deal for Ole Miss because Tulane doesn't have that guy that they can lean on. If Retzloff doesn't play well, they're cooked.
Yeah.
So Ole Miss, they can lean on Kwan Lacey if Shambles doesn't get the things he wants to get. So
you're talking about a lot of future Tigers right now.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Facts. Shambles, Lacey, Retzloff.
I don't know about that. But who's their receiver? Watkins. Come on down, guys. Now we got rid of Frank Wilson for you, Lacey. I need you on this team. Anyway, so my key player as the head coach is Pete Golding.
Okay.
So you got to soften the blow of Lane Kiffin leaving. That's the whole thing, especially on offense. The defense will be fine. He's the defensive coordinator, but Lane Kiffin was the offense. You got Charlie Wyatt saying he was calling plays, and that helps. But Lane Kiffin was in his ear the whole time. Lane Kiffin was the offense. Lane Kiffin was the scheme. So that Lane Kiffin, what does this offensive scheme look like? Is it different? Is it less effective? That's what I'm looking for because that's what kind of Tulane has to bank on is because Ole Miss is their usual selves on offense. They're going to score every possession like they did against Georgia. It's just also Pete Golding, how are you talking to your players before this game? You've never been a head coach before, ever. you gotta have them in the right mentality. Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to talk to them? Do you know how to get them to feel the right way going into this game? All things I want to see, because there's definitely a way that like Pete Golding really just failed and their offense looks bad and they all are cocky and they all just don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's a huge thing. Pete Golding as the head coach, first time head coach in the college football playoffs is going to be huge.
Yeah, so that's kind of what my key matchup is. I've got John Summerall.
I'm about to keep going
versus Pete Golding / Charlie Weiss. I think Summerall, like, out of those three guys, is the best coach, and I think that's, like, we kind of know that. And I think that Summerall's going to throw a lot at these two guys.
Not going to lose, man.
And that's kind of how Summerall plays, kind of how he's always done it. Like, so I think that Pete Golding and Charlie Weiss, I think they've been scheming, and I think they're ready for this game. Like, I think they understand what they need to do. And I think it'll be interesting to kind of see just the different schemes from the two, because, like you said, they don't have Lane Kiffin in their ear. Lane Kiffin would say, hey, we're going for it on 4th and 2. Like, does Pete Golding make the same call at the 50-yard line going for it on 4th and 2, right? Like, just those kind of, like, small things I think are crucial for Ole Miss in this game. And I think Pete Golding will coach very well in this one. I don't know if he'll outcoach Summerall just because Summerall's such a good coach, but I think the coaching matchup is a good thing to look at for this game.
Ole Miss, like, this is a big moment to catch up to him when he's making those decisions. I don't know. It won't catch up to Lane, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So my key matchup is the Tulane defensive line versus the Ole Miss offensive line. Now, the big thing here for Tulane, got to be able to stop Kawan Lacey in that run. Because, if they can lean on you, it's going to be a long day. So you got to be able to stop the run and then make Chambliss do it with his arm, which of course he can. But then the Tulane D-line, once you force him to pass it, like, pin your ears back and go. Like, you got to get there. Because if Chambliss has all day to pick you apart, your secondary can only survive for so long. And then you also can't let him escape. So it's a difficult task, having to stop the run and stop Trinidad and get to Trinidad all at the same time. But if they can do that, then if they can affect this game, affect possessions for Ole Miss, then that's huge. Because Tulane secondary, they could probably hold up for a little bit. The receivers out of Ole Miss aren't as good as most teams, but also it's the SEC receivers against American corners. I don't know, but you got to be able to get to them while also stopping the run, and so it'll be an interesting thing. And then for the Ole Miss's O-line, you just got to move bodies, man. You got to lean on the O-line in the run game and Kawan Lacey and just move bodies, open up holes, and just let him eat the whole game, right? Kind of like I said with Oregon. And also give Trinidad time in the pocket when they are passing to just pick them apart. Because if he has time back there, it's going to be a long day for the Tulane secondary.
Yes. For Tulane, it's a little different. So I think you need to kind of change your offensive scheme, which sounds crazy going into a playoff game. But I would say it's your first read for Retzlaff, it's check down, and then it's run. Like, that's the kind of things you're going to have to do in this game. Like, you're not going to have all day to sit in the pocket and kind of find guys open or throw guys open. Like, you're not going to be able to do that, right? So you find your first read, you look at your check down, and then you go. I think that's a big deal for Retzlaff, and I think it's a big deal for Tulane in this game. Like, that's what they're going to have to do if they want to win this game. And then for Ole Miss, I think it's play with a chip on your shoulder. Like, truly. Like, look like...
These are keys to the game? Or
no? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
You never said that.
My keys to the game.
Yeah.
I think it's play with a chip on your shoulder, right? Your boy Kiffin, Lane, he left. And, like, now, like, you're playing, like you've said all week, like, spot the ball. Like, let's play. Like, live up to it. Like, let's play ball. Like, I want to see Ole Miss with a fire in them. And I think they do. And I think Pete Golding's going to bring that out of them. And it'll be interesting to see because that's going to be something that if they want to go farther in the playoffs, they're going to have to need. They're going to have to use that fire and turn to the team that we saw against Georgia weeks back.
Yeah, but they scored, like, all their first 8 possessions.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, and I think they're going to do the same thing in this game.
I'm not going to talk about keys to the game yet. I'm going to say how, like, I think it's funny how Ole Miss, like, said, oh, Lane, we don't need you. You can leave because you're going to make it a recruiting trip on all the things. But then, so like, oh, they're acting all tough. But then they totally did not stand on business and let Charlie Weiss come back to just do the same thing Lane was going to do and give you a worse chance. And give you a worse chance to win. He's still got access to all the players, all the computers. He's got access to everything. And he is going to be able to. Yeah. It'll be a month-long recruiting trip. The broadcast will be a little less about LSU, but still a lot about LSU. It's like they completely did not stand on business. They were completely hypocritical, and they were just like, just because Lane's the face, they don't want him there, and it's just
and that's why. That's exactly why.
But why does that matter? If you're trying to win the national championship,
well, I think
the fans that don't give a shit aren't going to tamper with your players. Like Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin are going to tamper with your players either way if they're there.
Think about like someone watching it on their TV, and you see that it says Kiffin, like they're showing Kiffin at the beginning of this game, if he's still coaching for Ole Miss, and it's like, oh, LSU Tigers next head coach.
Okay, they're gonna do that for Charlie Weiss. LSU Tigers next OC.
They're not really. They're
not as much.
Care.
I understand.
They're not
that.
going to care, and in a casual fan in college football does not know who Charlie Weiss is. Everyone knows who Lane Kiffin is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think it's a little different, right? Like you said, he's the face. That's why they didn't want him there. Charlie Weiss, they still need him for offensive play calling and stuff like that. I agree. I don't think it was I don't think they stood on business at all. I'm just saying I understand why they did it.
If Ole Miss wants to win the championship, Ole Miss, don't tell me you care about what the fans sitting on his couch thinks about you. Trying to win a national championship. So who cares, bro? Your fans aren't gonna care. The guy in Missouri on his couch might care, but nobody else cares. And so you can't care about them. You gotta just put your best thing out there. That's not what you're doing. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Why does Ole Miss care? But anyway, my keys to the game for Tulane is stay in control. Use Red Sox legs. Be creative in your run game. Be effective in your run game. And avoid crucial mistakes that can change this game in a big way. Don't give Ole Miss anything extra. They've already got a way better team than you. And just sustain drives, like I said, for James Madison. And just be able to consistently score points, which I think there's a world where they can. And as long as you avoid the big turnovers and the big plays, you can stay in control and shorten this game. For Ole Miss, it is maintain your offensive excellence. Lane Kiffin's gone. You still got Charlie Weiss. You can absolutely maintain that offensive excellence that you've shown throughout the entire season. So, again, how does Lane being gone affect your scheme? How does it affect your players? How does it affect just the whole offense in general? Especially Trinidad Chambliss without his head coach in his ear, and his head coach all this whole month in practice. How does that affect him? It'll be interesting to see, but that's the key for Ole Miss.
All right. You want me to get into
You can go into your thing.
I think the team with more momentum wins the game. And that's kind of a basic one. And it's kind of if you have more momentum, you do win the game. And that's exactly what happens in this one. And I do think that the team with more just poise and looks better and starts quicker and just sustains more drives will win the game. It's kind of a basic pick.
It's a difficult one.
But I say more momentum will win the game.
It's a bit difficult to come up with something in these group of 5 games.
In these games, it's very hard.
Yeah. So I said the team that plays 4 good quarters wins this game. Now, I don't know if either team's going to do that, but if Tulane, let's say, can take advantage of one bad quarter from Ole Miss and they could stay consistent throughout the game when Ole Miss tries to come back, they can win this game. If Ole Miss takes advantage of one Tulane bad quarter and they go by 20, it's over. Right? So if you can play 4 good quarters, you can win this game. And both teams have struggled with this. You saw Ole Miss against Georgia. You saw Ole Miss. There's some other games I'm forgetting right now. What other games Ole Miss? Oh, they against LSU game. They sucked against LSU.
They had a bunch of games.
So they struggled with that. And Tulane especially, you've seen them struggle in that fourth quarter against North Texas. You've seen them struggle against there's some other teams where they were only up 7 at the end of the first quarter when they should have been by more. There's games where both these teams have struggled with this. Whoever doesn't let their guard down, I think, can win this game. Because one of the teams will, and it's a matter of do both teams do it? That's when Ole Miss wins. Or does just Tulane do it? That's when it's a blowout. Or does just Ole Miss let their guard down and Tulane stay strong? That's when Tulane wins this game.
Okay, so who you got? Who you taking?
My pick, look, I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and picks Tulane.
Okay.
I've seen this all
before. I thought there was
before.
a chance.
I've seen this before, okay? And it's not going to be as bad as it was last time they played. What was that, 45-10? But
yeah.
Look, I think Tulane's going to stay in this game for at least the first half. They're going to show you why they're here. They're going to show you that they're a really good team, actually. And you saw little flashes in that first game about how they can scheme up, and I think they'll stay in it. But then Ole Miss, I think, is just gonna out-guy them in the second half. I think the final score is 38-20, but something more of a 14-10, 17-14 thing at halftime, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Ole Miss too. I don't know technically what would this be. 35. I took them 35-17. So 18-point win. Yeah, so no, they wouldn't cover in that situation. The spread's 14.5 or whatever?
Something like that.
Yeah, so they wouldn't cover. But yeah, I'm going with Ole Miss. I do think they look good, and I think the offense looks really good. I think the offense looks like one of the best in the country. But this is a totally different Tulane team than when they beat them 45-10. It's a totally different team. Everyone's getting healthy. You've got some you got some dog in you right now with John Summerall leaving and him kind of promoting Tulane still. There's just a lot of things that Tulane looks different, and I think they're playing for something bigger right now, obviously. But I still think that Ole Miss just stifles them offensively, and I think they look better. So,
I mean, John Summerall said it that was their worst game early in the season, and now they're playing their best football. And John Summerall, kudos to him for how he's leaving. Like, he's been saying
it's
that.
incredible.
And he's giving a bunch of money to Tulane. And he's like, look, it's about how you leave, more about how you come. And
I appreciate that so much.
Great.
Also, that's a little like slight at Lane, by the way. Like, shout out Ole Miss, like they're playing them, little something.
I don't know about that. Lane Kiffin didn't really have a choice.
Well, it wasn't sliding.
John Summerall would have left too.
It wasn't sliding him. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's a little different.
John Summerall would have left too.
But Kiffin didn't donate $100,000.
No, he did not. Because that's his rival. Why would you do that? Like, Tulane, he's not going to play Florida.
Respect.
Yeah, no, mad respect. All right, anyway. Oklahoma, Alabama is next. That's what I have next on my excitement meter.
Okay.
So
interesting.
It's because the other one's more exciting.
I wouldn't have said that, but okay.
I mean, look, this game's gonna be kind of a more boring one, and we're gonna talk about it. So, my key player for Alabama is Jam Miller. He's coming back from his injury this week. He's been injured a lot this year. It's how do you come back from your injuries? He is explosive as he can be, right? What does he look like running the football? Computer just went out, big guy.
That's only one.
And so, Alabama has to be able to run the ball against. This is one of the best defenses in the country they're going against. Got to balance out the attack, and that starts with Jam Miller in the running game. It can't just be the passing game, and they're not going to win.
Yeah, so I feel like we've been saying this the past, 6 weeks about, like, Alabama needing to get a running game, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to go with a different kind of skill player. I'm going to go with Ryan Williams. Has anyone heard Ryan Williams' name the past month, 2 months?
I saw it on the stat sheet when I was making these. It wasn't high.
Not really. No one's really heard of him. Like, he's been nowhere. And I think in this game, you're going to need your skill players to step up because Alabama's receivers are much better than Oklahoma's receivers and skill players. Like, it's totally different. I think Jeremy Bernard is going to be bracketed in this one. I think it's going to be hard to get him the ball. So I think Ryan Williams is going to see his looks. And I think he's going to have to make big plays down the stretch for Alabama that we haven't seen him make since, 2 years or a year ago against Georgia. Like, we haven't really seen him do anything. But I think this is a big game for him and a big game for the Alabama passing game.
Mentally, he's already a Tiger.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone we mention's a Tiger.
Yes, literally, Lane Kiffin is him. All right. My key player for Oklahoma is Isaiah Satania, their star receiver.
Okay.
Look, this Oklahoma offense has not been very good the last few weeks. It's not been very potent at all. They've not been sustaining anything. So you got to deliver the big play. That's what they've been feeding off of the last few weeks. That's what's been getting them through these games is the big play. You saw it against LSU. You saw it against Missouri. So Isaiah Satania has been the guy to deliver the big plays. Got to do it again. Or two. Maybe two big plays. But Isaiah Satania is the guy, if you're not going to sustain your offense, to make the big play.
Okay. Oklahoma for me, I'm going to use another quarterback slot, and it's John Mateer. So John Mateer at the beginning of the year looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Looked like could be a Heisman finalist. Like we all thought he was going to be incredible when he was coming out the transfer portal. We were excited to see him in Oklahoma. And after that hand injury, he just hasn't looked the same. I think with a little bit of a break and I think with some time, John Mateer can return to being like one of the best quarterbacks in this playoff. And I think that's a really big deal for Oklahoma because the offense just doesn't look right like it did at the beginning of the year. If Oklahoma had the offense they had against like Michigan week 2, I think Oklahoma's like a national title contender. We just haven't seen it. That's the problem. So I'm going with John Mateer. He's a key player. He's going to have to play well in this one. So I think John Mateer, he takes another step towards recovery in his break, and I think he looks better out there.
I think you said it well. Like that's what makes this game and these two teams in this playoff so weird.
So weird.
Because you got guys coming back from injury on both sides. You got the Alabama running game. You got like Oklahoma's best defensive player. You got Oklahoma's quarterback still trying to recover. Like, what does he look like coming off this break? What does Ty Simpson in this Alabama team look like, especially in the passing game after a break and a chance to regroup? What does the Alabama running game look like coming back from injury? Like, and then how does that affect their playoff run? Not just this game. Like, both of these teams are teams that can make it to the Final Four, made it to the national title, but not the way they've been playing the last few weeks. So it's really interesting to see how these guys play out.
Wild, actually.
Yeah. So my key matchup is Ty Simpson versus the Oklahoma defense.
God dang it.
I couldn't use him for the key players. I put him in the key matchup. So I think Ty Simpson, you got to avoid mistakes. You can't make big turnovers. That's what this Oklahoma defense feeds off of, is the big turnover that turns into their offense, right? They play such good complementary football. You got to when you're going to give them the ball, make it a punt, all right? Because then they got to drive the whole field. So you got to avoid that big mistake, the big turnover, and change it up a bit. This Oklahoma defense saw you early in the season. They played really well against you. And the passing game hasn't been working in the last few weeks, so you got to change it up a bit. As for the Oklahoma defense, just pressure Ty Simpson into big mistakes. Make him make that interception, maybe a pick six, maybe something set it up in the red zone. And just stay dominant in all facets to this game. Like, they've been so good. Just keep doing it, man.
Yeah, so mine's the exact same. It's Ty Simpson versus that.
So I go first, baby.
Part 2, by the way, like you said. Last time they played, Ty Simpson had 2 turnovers. He had a fumble and a pick, and they were both really bad turnovers. But I think if you know who Ty Simpson is, you realize that, yeah, he's going to get in the lab. Like, he's going to realize, like, he's a coach's son. He sat 2 years at Alabama. Like, he wants this game.
Got grit.
Okay, well, that too. But I think he's going to look at the film, and I think he's going to realize his mistakes, and I think it's going to be a big deal for Alabama in this one because I think he's going to play well. And if he doesn't turn the ball over, Alabama wins the game. If they don't turn the ball over, it's simple as that. If they don't turn the ball over, Alabama will win the game. But Ty Simpson has not looked like that guy in the past couple of weeks. But I think he looks at his film, and I think he looks a lot better in this game.
This game will show a lot about Kalen DeBoer as well.
Yep.
What kind of a coach is he?
0-2 versus Brent Venables, by the way. Still has not beat Brent Venables.
Brent's got his number. I think Brent's been stealing signs. I heard about that. He's really infamous for stealing signs. Apparently,
is he? Actually,
yeah. And DeBoer is definitely the coach to let the other coach steal the signs.
Or not realize.
Yeah, or not realize duh, Elmer Fudd. Anyway, okay. Keys to the game. So my Alabama key to the game is get back to mid-season form. I can say the same thing about Oklahoma, but I'm saying it about Alabama. Mid-season, they went on that run of 4 straight ranked victories. Their passing game was surgical. They couldn't even run the ball at all. But their passing game was surgical. Ty Simpson was out there throwing darts. Heisman favorite. And they weren't making the big mistake like Ty Simpson's been making late in the season. So, you get, especially in the passing game, get back to your midseason form and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I got 3 words. Score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. All right, that's good. My key to the game for Oklahoma is, and we're cutting down episode time a little bit.
Score 3 touchdowns.
So it's going to be the same thing for Oklahoma?
Also true, but no. Score 3 touchdowns. Alabama. Okay,
Oklahoma, my key to the game is to win the momentum plays. And then you said the same thing earlier, kind of with the momentum.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, be better than them on third down. Your offense can be better than them on third down than their offense is. That's huge because, again, your offense not as potent as Alabama's is, especially in the passing game recently. So, if you can win the big plays and keep momentum on your side, and win the turnover battle, and then that kind of gets it to where you can kind of keep this Alabama team from getting life, especially on their drives, stall them out, and keep your drive sustaining, and that's huge for them.
Yeah, mine for Oklahoma, also true. If you score 3 touchdowns, you probably win. But I'm going to go with let John Mateer loose, man. Let him go out there and play free. Because I think that's the only way you get past Alabama. Because, your defense last time played so well. I don't know if they can replicate that against a team that's been scheming for them for a week and it's just a bunch of things coming in college football playoff game. It's just a lot different. So I think the offense has to show up, and I think John Mateer is going to have to get let loose in this one. So let him go. I think the hand injury is okay. Here, I got you. I think the hand injury is okay, and I would let him go. This is how you spend the ball.
Yeah, that's Mr. Napier. His last episode as an intern before he goes off to James Madison. So
that was funny.
Anyway, so what was your thing again? It was
let Mateer loose.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that's a great one. So my little sentence here, I don't even know what to call it yet.
Yeah, we'll call it the sentence.
That's 2. The team with the more big plays wins the game. You saw it in the last time they played. Oklahoma.
Game I was expecting you to say that.
Oklahoma made the big plays, right? They had the pick 6. I'm sure they had a couple of deep touchdowns. I wasn't really watching, but Alabama really missed on these big plays. And so that's the key, man. Lots of big plays, and you can win this game. And whoever makes the big one late.
Yeah, I said this earlier, but I think the team with the better preparation wins the game. Oklahoma's been prepping for 2 weeks, Bama's been prepping for 1, and I think the team with the better skill set, or not skill set, but practice time before the game, all these kind of things, I think are a big deal. Because like I said, Ty Simpson's going to get back in that lab. John Mateer is going to look at what his mistakes last time were and why they weren't successful on offense. A bunch of things are going to come into play because these teams have played before that I think is a big deal with prepping for Bama or prepping for Oklahoma. So I think the team with the better preparation will win.
All right, what's your pick?
I had a really hard time doing this.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm going to go with Oklahoma. 21-17. I think it's a low-scoring game. And, yeah, I just don't think Alabama scores 3 touchdowns, and I think that's what does it. I also think that Ty Simpson could go out there and go drop 40. Genuinely.
Yeah,
I think Ty Simpson could look like the best player in America. But I just don't think he does. I think Oklahoma's got his number, and I think Brent Venables moves on to the next round.
I think this Bama's offense is going to be back to an extent. And I think the big plays are going to fall Bama's way this time. The big plays last time, they fell to Oklahoma. And they fall to Bama this time. And Bama makes the big play late. And I think Bama offense is a little more potent. And I think Bama wins 24-14.
Okay.
So that's my pick.
14 for Oklahoma. Wow. That's wild.
They have no offense.
I know, it's just wild to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the fact that they're could be a national title contender.
And this is more like 17-14 until a big play late for.
It's also so true. Like Oklahoma could beat you with 14 points.
Oh, absolutely.
Like straight up. Like there's no other team
They
in
beat
college
LSU
football
with, like,
that
10.
can beat. Well, they scored like 17.
It was like, what, 17-13?
Yeah, something like that. But like that's the thing. Like they can beat you with 17 points. Like
If they had 14, they would have won that game.
That is also true.
Alright.
But yeah.
All right.
Wild to think about
I don't have as much to say about this game. We can make this a little pithier, you could say.
This is a really good game.
Number 10, the best game. Number 10, Miami at number 7, Texas A&M. So I'll start with my key player. He's my last key quarterback spot. Another one of the biggest key players of the weekend from Miami. It's Carson Beck. When Carson Beck turns it over, Miami loses games. Period.
Straight up.
So Carson Beck, since his time at Georgia, into this year, has been very inconsistent. And he's been the X factor both these last 2 years. And the reason they lost games because he's been really turnover prone and really inconsistent. So he needs to be the guy that goes out there, and we need to see the good Carson Beck. If we see the good Carson Beck, not very many teams in the country can beat Miami.
That is true, and that is I'm using my last quarterback spot as well for Carson Beck. Since that SMU loss, he's got 11 touchdowns and 1 pick. He looks good. Like he looks back to his beginning of the season form. A lot of people forget that Miami was like maybe the best team in the country the first 4 weeks of the year, 5 weeks of the year. Like they look like the best team in the country, genuinely.
Against 2, though.
So what?
Against 2. That's the question.
Well, they
That's
beat
the
Notre
thing.
Dame.
Oh, well, I would say since the last few weeks.
No. I'm saying at the beginning of the year, the first 5 games.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
the best team
sorry.
in the country. So I think that they are trying to get back to that form, and it all relies on Carson Beck, right? Like that is the thing. He saw ghosts last time he played at SMU, and he played who else? He looked at Louisville. Like it was horrible, but now he looks better, and he's going into a big game. He's a veteran quarterback. I think he can do it, and I think he's a big part in this game.
My key player for A&M is the wide receiver KC Concepcion.
We picked the same one.
And look, I don't have much statistical analysis on this one. Maybe James does. Just go out there and make plays with Marcel Reed. It's kind of a feel thing for me at this point with A&M in this game. Be that number 1 option. Be consistently there for Marcel Reed and go make plays. They've been making plays all year. Big plays that really swing games. That needs to be what happens here with KC Concepcion and Marcel Reed.
So I almost picked Le'Veon Moss, but I don't know if he's going to be back. He's like a 50-50 shot to play right now, but when Le'Veon Moss, the running back for Texas A&M, plays, he genuinely looks like the best player on the field. That is going to be a really big decision if he plays tomorrow or not. But I went with KC Concepcion the exact same reason that you went. They're going to have to make big plays in this situation, and you go to one of the best receivers in the country in Concepcion, and I think it's going to be a big game for him, and he's going to have a big game if they want to win this game.
So my key matchup is the Miami D-line versus Marcel Reed. Miami D-line, you got to get there. You can't just get there, but you got to get him down, because he will get out of that pocket if you're not looking. But then also in the pass game, you got to get there, but you also got to contain him so he doesn't get out of the pocket. But you also can't give him all day. So it's a really interesting spot for this Miami D-line to be in. Whereas Marcel Reed, you just got to make plays with your legs. They're not always going to be open downfield. If you can make plays with your legs and get around these guys like Ruben Bain out there, it's going to be tough, but he can do it. One of the best quarterbacks in the country. And just avoid those sacks as often as possible. And I think A&M will be in a good spot if they do that.
Yeah, I have kind of a different one. I've got Miami skill players versus Texas A&M skill players. Miami's got some guys on the outside. Malachi Toney is incredible, by the way. I think that's his name, Malachi Toney.
Yeah.
Hold on. Malachi Toney, yeah. One of the best freshman receivers in the country. He's been incredible this year. You also got C.J. Daniels out there.
Former Tiger. Lane?
C.J. Daniels is also a former Tiger. We don't really need him back, but
he's not very good.
He was not good here. But he has played incredible this year
in
in Miami.
Was good here.
Not compared to what he's doing now, though.
No, but he doesn't score touchdowns. He made a lot of big plays.
That is true. And then it's the skill players for A&M with Moss and Concepcion, who we covered, and Mario Craver goes under the radar, who's been incredible this year. I think both of those guys, it's going to be big plays. It's going to be a really fun, electric game, and I think whoever's skill players play better will win this game.
All right. My key to the game for Miami is don't beat yourself. Play a clean game. Limit the penalties. Limit the turnovers. Carson Beck, I'm looking straight at you. I know he's watching. So, and then Mario Cristobal needs to get out of his own way. There's always something that he messes up when they lose games. It's so weird. Mario Cristobal is allergic to winning big games. And this one, got to be able to get out of his own way. Carson Beck's got to be able to get out of his own way, and they can't beat themselves.
Yeah, for Miami, it's do exactly what Texas did. It's wear Texas A&M down. It's body blow after body blow after body blow, and that's exactly what Texas did, and that's how they beat them, right? These little 10-yard passes to pick up first downs. These little random things that Miami does a really good job at doing, by the way, that I think they can replicate exactly what Texas did to them a couple weeks ago, and that's how you win this game. You just replicate that formula.
I don't know if Miami has, like, the guys, like, down low in the trenches to be able to do that. Against SEC Cal, like, Texas is a better team than Miami, I think, like, personnel-wise, like, guys. Like, I don't know if Miami has the guys. You'll hear about what I have to say about that in a second when I make my pick, but we'll see. For A&M, my key to the game is to be explosive. Constantly threaten them downfield. Like, you've been explosive all season with Marcel Reed in his legs and his live arm, and there's guys downfield. And just keep doing that and use your playmakers to your advantage. You got so many of them on the outside. It's kind of a field thing again. Kind of just be explosive, make those big plays. They kind of just out-explosive them.
Mine's actually defensive-wise for Texas A&M. And it's like Mike Elko's got to work something up where he has Carson Beck seeing ghosts, right? Like, that's how it's going to be. Like,
apparently not difficult.
Coverages that look open but aren't actually open. Like, random things like that. Like, sending, like, 6-man blitzes, but they look like 3. Or, like, random things like this that Mike Elko does a really good job at doing, I think is going to have to be a big spot in this game. Because if you let Carson Beck get in that flow state, no one can really beat him.
All right, my little sentence. The team that takes care of the ball wins the game. Both of these teams are very turnover-prone this whole season. And I kind of say this kind of monologue for this little spot, but I could have said this the whole time. And I said it for Carson Beck, but both teams very turnover-prone. There's going to be a lot of turnovers in this game. If one of the teams can just take care of the ball, they're going to win this game. Because both offenses are very explosive. Both offenses can beat you, but they both can also turn it over. And so that's a big thing to watch. Who turns the ball over more?
Okay, mine is the team with better poise will win the game. And going into College Station for Miami is really tough, right? But I also think they have the more veteran team. They have guys that have played in big games, while Texas A&M doesn't really. So I think even though they're at home and that's a big deal, you still have to have poise. And same thing with Miami. Going into College Station, it's one of the hardest places to play in the country. It is like an 11 a.m. kick, which so it won't be as bad, but still, it's like incredible. But I do think that's the thing. Like, someone's got to have better poise, like you said, turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of correlation there.
Yeah, very similar.
My pick, like I said, I think there's going to be lots of turnovers in this game. I think you're going to see peak college football in this game, like lots of turnovers, big momentum swings, big plays. I think the game ends up as Texas A&M on top, 27-20. Like I said, I just don't know if Miami's got the guys down low to compete with the A&M SEC, like, kind of run the ball culture. Like, the culture at A&M, I think, is tougher than the culture at Miami. I think that's a lot because of Mario Cristobal, and I think it's, I don't know, a lot of the guys they have, Miami, they have a chance to just, whoever plays with their tone, you know what I'm talking about? Like, whoever plays their game, like, it's either going to be a game where, like, A&M plays their game and Miami has to adapt, or where Miami plays their just take the top off you game, and A&M's got to adapt. Whoever can play their game is going to win this game, but I think A&M does it. I think they win it 27-20.
Also, an insanely hard game to pick. Like, truly. I think both of these teams are incredible. But I went with Miami. I went them 24-21. And I think the reasoning for that is I think Malachi Toney and Carson Beck are going to have an incredible game. I think Carson Beck's going to have a game that's like 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like, genuinely, I think it could look like that. Like, it's possible. It probably won't.
They also have 4 interceptions in there.
That's also very possible. But I just think Miami is starting to look like the team they were at the beginning, and I think that all unfolds in this one. And I think they kind of dilapidate Texas A&M in the second half. I think they keep it close, but I think just Miami, I think similar to that Notre Dame game, they dominate most of the game, even though it's a close score at the end. I'm going to go with Miami.
All right. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Cutting a little close to the playoff, but it is what it is.
Yeah, first game tonight.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought about that last night, and I was like, wait, should we have done this on Thursday? But anyway.
Let's move on to our next segment. Cue music.
Big week in the NFL last week. The Saints and the Falcons pull off divisional upsets to make this division even crazier. The Bills come back and beat the Patriots. The Chargers eliminate the Chiefs from playoff contention while Mahomes tears his ACL. The Seahawks down Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. And the Broncos beat the Packers. The Rams expose the Detroit defense. And 9 drops 30 in the win versus the Cowboys. Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons each tore their ACLs last week, which is really sad. Phillip Rivers will start again for the Colts this week versus the 49ers. I mean, it wasn't too bad, I guess, last week. I don't know. Jay Daniels has been shut down for the season by the Commanders. Tua Tagovailoa has been benched for Quinn Ewers. Now, is Tua really the problem, or is it a bunch of other things as well? The Jets fire their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. It's a good start, but now you gotta fire everybody else. Utah promotes defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley to head coach. I don't think I said that right. Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman. He gave a great speech, and then Diego Pavia was a little sad. He turned around and ruined his entire reputation. The quarterbacks, a lot of quarterbacks say they're going to enter the portal. Florida's DJ Lagway, Cincinnati's Brendan Sorsby, Nebraska's Dylan Raiola, Missouri's Bo Perbula, and North Texas's Drew Mestonmaker are the big names entering the portal so far. The Knicks, they beat the Spurs to win the NBA Cup, and they won't hang the banner, causing the Lakers and the Bucks to lose all their aura. They got none now. Jorge Polanco signs with the Mets. Dustin May is going to sign with the Cardinals. Jobis Garcia signs with the Phillies. Ha-Seong Kim is back to Atlanta. Josh Bell signs with the Twins. And Michael King re-signs with the Padres on a 3-year, $75 million deal. Also, the Phillies just traded Matt Strahm to Kansas City for Jonathan Bolin, who I've never heard of before. So it's a really good win-now move for the Phillies there. I was joking. And James, who's going to win the Super Bowl? That's it.
Los Angeles Rams.
I said the same thing.
Or the Seahawks.
Yeah, I said Rams in parentheses, Bills/Seahawks.
I think the Seahawks can genuinely win it, like, straight up. From last night, bro. Ooh, they make plays when they need to.
That's a really...
The big win for Sam Darnold.
We've learned that that's a really even matchup. That's really fun to watch in the playoffs.
I would love to see it in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. God, I would love to see that matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. Time for NFL picks. We're going to make this very fast. But Michael, come on in, man. Congratulations for being on this fine program.
Dude, we've been trying to get Michael on the pod for a minute. It's just
I've been busy.
Yeah, some people have lives. So Michael, there's 15 games here. You're gonna need 13 of them to tie Miles or 14 of them to the lead. So me and James, I pulled away from James a little more. It's kind of over now.
Wait, you pulled away? I thought we tied last week.
No, I beat you by 2 or 3. I have 115 now. James eclipsing 100 now at 100 flat. With 3 weeks left, I don't know how James comes back, but we'll see. Stick around to find out. Anyway, so Michael, we're not going to talk about all these games, only the ones that kind of matter, or that me and James picked differently on. So you just tell us your pick, and then I don't know. So first is the Eagles versus Commanders. We're not going to talk about this. Me and James each have the Eagles. You have anything to say about that?
Eagles.
Good pick.
All right.
They play on Saturday, by the way.
Yeah, another game on Saturday. We'll talk about this one. Packers, Bears. Michael, let us know first.
I think the Bears have been a very competitive team this year, so I think they can pull it out.
Yeah. I said the same thing, man. The Packers got the best of them earlier. I don't think this is a series where the Packers take 2, especially with Parsons out now. I think the Bears are going to just find a way to win this game at home.
Yeah, I think the Bears just look better than the Packers the past couple weeks, so I'm going to go based off that, and the Bears are the better team right now, so I'm going to go with the Bears. I think they also have a better quarterback right now.
That's fine. I'm not too high on Jordan Love. All right, Jets Saints. We're not talking about this. Who you got?
Dude.
Biggest game of the year. What do you have?
It's the Saints poverty match.
Yeah. Beat you at the
Tyler Shucks him.
Who's Tyler Shuck? I only know Josh Allen. Anyway, we both got the Saints. We'll talk about this one. Me and James picked differently, but real briefly. Bengals versus Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins will win it because.
Yeah,
I just think it's
that's
the
lucky
Dolphins.
about it.
No, I kind of said the same thing. Like I genuinely don't know, but Quinn Ewers coming back or not coming back. He's gonna be the new starter, and this is a good team to start against. The Bengals have a horrible defense, and I think the Bengals are just playing with no heart. They're playing with nothing right now. I think the Miami Dolphins are gonna outgrit them. I think they're gonna win this game.
Yeah, I kind of said the same thing, but I said it for both teams. Like I think they're both playing with no heart, and I think the Bengals have better players and an experienced quarterback. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals. Because the Dolphins were embarrassed last week. Same thing with the Bengals. They were both embarrassed. So I'm going to go with the Bengals, though, in a little bounce-back game.
All right, Michael, you got Bills, Browns.
Bills.
Yeah, we each picked the Bills as well.
What are these matchups?
Yeah, it gets better as you get farther down. Chiefs, Titans.
No.
Honestly, the Titans. Because we've gotten old Kelsey, and then we also have...
No Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. ACL's gone. So I think the Titans, if they really do try their best and they put their best foot forward, I think they can pull it out.
Yeah.
I almost picked them.
The Cam Ward game might be coming soon. I don't know. But we each
better be soon.
Yeah, I think because he's had a few good games. He's had a few good games. They just get masked by their horribleness otherwise. You got Cowboys Chargers.
Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah, we took the Chargers as well. Cowboys kind of out of it now. Chargers playing really well. Vikings Giants. You got.
I think the Giants will win this.
I like it.
I like my Jackson Dart. Yeah.
Dude, I thought about
Pick upsets.
I almost picked them, bro.
Yeah, I mean, well, like 9's been looking good, so I just
he looks really good.
We each picked the Vikings there. We'll talk about this one. Big for the NFC South. We wouldn't be if talking about it if it wasn't.
Incredible game.
Bucks Panthers. Tell us who you got.
The Panthers have been playing very good, so I think it will be the Panthers. To be honest with you.
Okay. Look, I think the Bucks are the better team. I'm gonna tell you right now, they played twice in the last 3 weeks. The Bucks' next game is against someone bad. I forgot. It was like Vikings or something. They'll probably win their next game, and they play in Week 18. Panthers have the Seahawks next week. So this is a common thing for the Panthers. If they win this game, then they will lose their next 2 and smoke the division.
Okay.
James,
So
who you got?
you took the Panthers winning.
Took the Panthers to win this game.
Yeah, I had the Panthers winning too, and I kind of said at the beginning of the year I thought the Panthers go 9-8 and win the NFC South and get in the playoffs.
Gotta beat them
Still
twice.
possible.
Gotta beat them twice.
That's the thing, and I think they can. But I'm gonna go. It starts this week, and I do think that Bryce Young looks better than Baker Mayfield in this game. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
All right, Jaguars, Broncos. Not expecting to talk about this, but here we are.
To be honest, I know nothing about both teams.
That's valid. That's so valid. Holy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with Jaguars.
Jaguars. And if I told you they both had better records than like 90% of the league, what would you say? You're like, the hell why? Because the Jaguars haven't played a single soul. I mean, the Broncos, they showed me a lot last week in their game against the Packers. I said it last week when I picked the Packers. I was like, the Broncos can prove a lot, and they did. So I'm going to pick them here against the Jaguars team that I still think is pretty mediocre.
Yeah, I picked the Broncos last week, and once again, they showed me a lot. But I'm actually go with the Jaguars. I think this is the statement game. I think this is where people finally stop doubting them. Their offense looks incredible. Like, they're getting guys back. Jacoby Myers just got signed to an extension. Britton Strange is coming back finally. Like, they have a bunch of guys. Etienne's looking better. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I think they play a better game than the Broncos.
Okay, Falcons Cardinals. What do you got?
Another mid-off. To be honest,
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Falcons will win this one.
Man, I'm really liking your pick, Seth Michael, because I did the same thing. And I just think the Arizona Cardinals are going to see a game that they've seen in the last 10 weeks straight, where they score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points because the Falcons' offense is on fire right now. I think that stays against the defense that's really just poor.
I think it's the opposite. I think the Cardinals' offense looks so much better than the Falcons' defense because Atlanta's defense that we thought was going to be so good at the beginning of the year and it looked so good sucks. Like, straight up, it sucks now. It looked like the best defense in football the first 5 weeks, and now it's horrible. I think Arizona could put up, like, legit 50. So I'm going to go with Cardinals.
Can I make a little prediction real quick?
Sure.
Young Hoku with the game winner.
He's not on the team, bro.
He didn't kick anymore? No, he kicks for the Giants.
He kicks for the Giants. Wait.
No, and then he stubbed his toe, so he's off the team.
Okay,
you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, no, I think he might be off the team now. Dude,
Cut
the fact that they cut him in general is insane.
Young Wei Q fall off has to be started.
Like that,
he's on the Giants. Yeah.
Okay, so he still is. Okay.
I mean,
but he's not the starter anymore.
I mean,
No,
it's like
I
he
don't
has a bad season, then he has an amazing
so
season.
weird. Yeah, he's like the best kicker in football.
And then he just buns the next season.
Yeah, that's very weird.
All right. I suppose you have Houston over the Raiders?
I do.
Interesting.
You know, that Houston defense is just going to put some straight BTA.
Yeah,
So
no, it's going to be bad. We each had the same thing as well. We're going to talk about these last 3. Steelers, Lions. What do you have?
I'd take the Lions here, to be honest with you. But that should be a pretty good game, though.
It should. Steelers playing really well right now. But I think the Lions take it. I think the Lions defense has been bad, but the Steelers offense is going to outbad them in this game. I think they're going to be... The Lions aren't going to score a lot, but they're going to score enough with Jahmyr Gibbs. Be able to win this game.
Yeah, I think the Steelers showed me a lot last week. I was very impressed with Aaron Rodgers. I was impressed with the offense. But yeah, I still think the Lions are a better team overall, and I just think, the offense is just so much better, so I'm going to go with the Lions.
All right, Patriots-Ravens.
This is a good game. I think New England wins this because my boy Drake May.
Dog.
He's been on one this season. You know, he's been playing his heart out.
Yeah, I've been struggling to believe in them this year, but then they keep showing me that when they play good teams, that they stay with them, and they have played really close with the Bills twice now, beat them once. This team's at that level, and I think they're going to beat the Ravens this week in a close game, in a fun game. Lamar's going to play well, but I think Drake May wins it.
I think it's the opposite. I think New England kills them. I think it is like a true beatdown, and I think New England shows like they are much better than Baltimore is right now. And I think New England is a Super Bowl contender, and I think people need to start viewing them as that in the AFC. So I got New England.
Interesting. All right, Niners Colts. Philip Rivers in the Colts on Monday Night Football.
This is true.
I think the Niners win this one.
That's a smart pick,
I
man.
think the Niners win this one.
Yeah, there's like no reason to pick the Colts. Like they got no quarterback, or a ghost of a quarterback, a corpse of a quarterback, and he runs
Let's
around.
give him his flowers.
He didn't look good. He played all right. He didn't look good. He was running
that's-
and like falling like.
I'm sure that's what he looks like.
Did you see that one play where he tried to like step up in the pocket and completely fell?
I agree.
Bro was-
but
bro was so old.
Watching that game though,
It was
he
tough.
made some throws.
No, he can still swing it for sure. I got the Niners here. I think their defense is going to show Philip Rivers who's boss.
Yeah, I think the Niners defense is starting to play better and better. Like, finally, some of the young guys are starting to develop throughout the season. And I think it's a really good spot for the Niners. I think it puts them in a good position, kind of starting to move into the playoff race. I think it's a good next stepping stone on Monday Night Football. So, I got the Niners.
All right. Fun episode this week. Long episode this week, but who cares anyway?
Great episode.
It's the best episode of the year.
Every year.
So, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Got
by
anything
the
to say
way.
to the people,
Merry
Michael?
Christmas.
Shout out.
Anything to say?
Come
on.
I'm coming for that spot, Miles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would like to hear it.
Would you like to touch the trophy, by the way?
Well, you just got cursed.
Shout out.
Oh,
No.
So,
ouch.
is it still the top three have never touched
It was
the trophy?
the same top three for
Yeah,
like
so
3
yeah,
months
the
now.
top three, the only three that have never touched the trophy.
Hey,
so.
I'm a trend breaker.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Michael
Alright.
is going to win it all. All right. And if you win, you get to come back. So that's the big thing.
That is true. You do get to come back. You get to come back for first episode, right?
No, it's for during the playoffs. And then they also get to come back for first episode next year.
Yeah, that is
So it's a big deal, Michael. Work out is a big deal. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week with another banger episode. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Peace.